Asking someone how are you or how are you doing is very old fashioned and very commonplace. There should be more ways in which we start a conversation, and I believe that communication starters are an integral part of learning how to communicate, whether it is in a formal context or in an informal context. Hello everyone, welcome back to the English Web. I am Bhagyashree Mehta. In today's video, I shall be focusing on 5 unique ways in which you can start a conversation. It could be a conversation with anybody, like say a friend for that matter, somebody who's a friend but you're still not very well known to each other. Maybe an acquaintance, maybe somebody whom you have spoken to once or twice, but you still haven't formed that bond, and you need a starter to kind of get talking. Or it could be a potential employee, or it could be anybody. So let's look at the 5 ways in which you can start a conversation. The first point is, or the first way in which you can start a conversation is by talking about the weather. Now, if you are talking to somebody who's not in the same place as you are, maybe if it's a virtual call, then you can start by asking about the weather. Asking about the weather is one of the best ways, according to me, in which you can start a conversation. I think it's very neutral. It gives you that ground to take off and get talking and start discussing more interesting things as the conversation proceeds. And I feel that it's a very safe way to get talking when you don't know someone really well. So yes, talk about the weather, talk about the climate. You can also say that it's very hot in your place. What about, and you can ask about the climate where the other person is staying. And yes, talk about the weather. The second way in which you can start a conversation is by complimenting someone. Now, I wouldn't say that you can compliment someone's look, especially someone who belongs to the opposite gender, when you don't know each other very well. It could be perceived as someone hitting on them. So yeah, do not start with that kind of a compliment, but you can always start off by complimenting someone's outfit or an accessory. Just look at a safe way in which you can offer a compliment and get talking. So it could be something like, hey, I loved your bag. And then you can just introduce yourself, and then just start talking. Again, a very nice, subtle and genuine way. Of course, I mean, you also mean what you say, but yeah, it's a nice conversation starter, and I would always go for it if I am trying to have a conversation with someone I don't know really well. The third point, or the third way in which you can start a conversation, is by asking someone about how their day is going. So you are meeting someone over coffee, or it's a meeting that you are having, and you just don't want to delve into the formal aspects directly. So you just ask the other person about how their day has been going. You've met someone in the middle of an afternoon or in the evening, whenever it is, and I think it's a great way to also show some kind of courtesy before getting onto some more important aspects. So again, this would be a little more this would be used in a little more formal context, also in an informal context, but just see how you resonate with this kind of a statement in your situation. So yes, it's a question moreover. The fourth way in which you can offer or maybe start a conversation is by just showing some courtesy and asking the other person if they faced any inconvenience, or while coming to the place you all decided to meet at. So I think again that is a very courteous way of starting off a conversation. Again, this does not apply to virtual conversations, but I believe asking someone if they have been inconvenienced on their way to the location where you all are meeting is a wonderful way to start a conversation. You also know that you are starting the conversation on a very smooth note, and it will just pave the way for more interesting things to talk about. And the fifth way in which you can start a conversation is by asking somebody what their name means. Now, this wouldn't apply to conversations where you already know the person to some extent. But if you're meeting someone for the first time, or if you're meeting an acquaintance, you're meeting a friend's friend for the first time, and you do not know much about them, you can always ask them what their name means to show a little more interest and just get talking. Or you can use it in any situation where you feel it is applicable, and it also shows how somebody is trying to be attentive, and again at the same time is trying to show interest in you in a very decent manner. So don't hesitate when you try to ask somebody what their name means. Again, it's a simple conversation starter, and it does not have any negative or wrong connotations. So yes, these were some of the conversation starters that I think work really well in any given situation. Most of them, I would say. And again, there are many more conversation starters. A lot of the other conversation starters apply to specific contexts. And if at all you have any conversation starters to share with, then please do not forget to drop them in the comment section below. All the others would love to know how you start a conversation. And if you've liked the video, then please do not forget to hit the like button. Do not forget to share the video and subscribe to the English Web. I shall see you guys soon. Goodbye.